Drink it daily for a natural immune boost. Order at Bayani Brew Facebook page or at www.bayanibrew.com. Go Pinoy farmers. Go Pinoy brands. Go for a healthier you. Drink Bayani Brew today.
Hey, beautiful souls, it's Mickey Sachiko. Today, I am excited because we're going to talk about sustainable farming and social entrepreneurship. And we have no other than one of the co-founders of our favorite drink, Bayani Brew, which is a sustainable social enterprise made 100% in the Philippines for Filipinos. And Ron will be sharing with us a ton of knowledge about sustainable farming and social entrepreneurship. Welcome to the show, Ron.
Hi, Mickey. Thank you for inviting me. And by the way, thank you for including Bayani Brew in your charity activities the past weeks. We really love joining those activities as well.
Awesome. You know what? I want to get right away because you guys have been around since 2012. And the way you are doing your business is not just about making money, not just about profit. You're more of creating social impact to your partners, which are the farmers, and at the same time, promoting sustainability. So I wanted to ask you, because it's sort of like your expertise now since you've been doing it for close to 8 years now, yung sustainability. Let's talk a bit about that, Ron. Can you briefly tell or describe sustainable farming?
Okay. So first of all, we don't claim to be experts, but what we try to do is to make it not overly complicated, especially for the farmers. So when it comes to sustainable farming, what we do is we take away the need or the temptation for the farmers to use harmful farm or agricultural practices. So for example, right at the beginning or at the onset, when we chose which crops we'd like to work with, we chose the ones which grow naturally or will thrive naturally in the region that we work with. Okay, so we are at Gaud Kalinga Enchanted Farm in Angat, Bulacan. So in that area, even though Angat is more known for the Angat Dam, the area where we work in, it's actually, it doesn't have government irrigation. So the land is only rain-fed. So that's why most of the time the area there is unproductive. The farmers, they can only grow crops during the rainy season. So what we did is instead of planting mga water-hungry na mga crops, we chose the ones that will thrive all year round, like lemongrass and pandan and sweet potato leaves. That way, we'd minimize kagad the human intervention that would be needed that can be harmful to the soil, harmful to the environment. Okay. Another thing that we did, we also focus on climate resilient crops. So these are the crops na magkaroon ng typhoon, ng drought, na longer summer periods, they would still survive with very minimal na maintenance from the farms. So that way, the farmers wouldn't have to use so much artificial or chemical resources just to maintain the fields. So these are yung mga low maintenance na mga crops that the farmers can easily grow. So parang that's the very first thing that we did. So choosing the crops, the right crops pa lang to grow in the area. And then the next part naman would be providing mga education. So we're partnering with Department of Agriculture. We invite the experts of Department of Agriculture and teach our farmers the best practices when it comes to organic farming or best practices when it comes to food safety. So, for example, instead of using yung mga chemical na mga pesticides, chemical fertilizers, or fungicides, they're now knowledgeable on how they can manage yung mga weed or yung mga pests using mga organic na mga resources. So that way, you're also not harming the soil and you're keeping your produce safe then for consumption in the future. So parang going back to the basics din talaga and properly equipping the farmer na they can do their job well using the safer farming methods such that they won't be tempted to use yung mga harmful na mga farming methods.
So it really sounds like a win-win-win kasi like the farmers don't have to spend so much time and effort kasi low maintenance yung farming na tinuro nyo. And then, sa business model nyo rin, syempre meron din yung magandang ROI. And then sa customers, since natural and organic yung iniinom nila, it's very healthy. So, I like that. I like the way it was put together. So that's sustainable farming pala, no? So I am wondering, Ron, like with sustainable farming that you guys are doing for Bayani Brew, like how did you tie that up for your social entrepreneurship? Like, can you walk us through like how did you transition? Because I know that you worked in corporate before, and then now you were a social entrepreneur. So what was it like for you?
Okay. So, Bayani Brew, we started around 2012, but before doing Bayani Brew, I was in a totally different field. I was in IT for a multinational company. So I was doing that IT work for almost a decade. And then uh, at some point I felt, now, okay, I wanted to be able to do something, giving back to the community. I want to do something I'll be able to help people out as my 9 to 5, not something I would just do after office hours or during weekends. So that's when I encountered the term social entrepreneurship. Now, right now, a lot of people know about social entrepreneurship na pero back then, around 2012, it was mostly just as a concept. So I researched about it, and then I saw okay, there's this local foundation called Gawad Kalinga. They are spearheading this social entrepreneurship movement in Bulacan. So the GK or Gawad Kalinga, they're more known for, especially back then, they're more known for providing homes for the homeless. But they also realize that, okay, if you relocate informal settlers from Metro Manila to the countryside, but there's no livelihood there, there's a possibility that they would just leave their homes and come back to Metro Manila. So they said, okay, we have to help the people earn an income, also earn a living in the countryside. And one of the best ways to do it is to utilize the underproductive land around them. So they piloted this farm in Angat, Bulacan. It's located in Barangay Encanto, so they call it the Enchanted Farm, the Gawad Kalinga Enchanted Farm. And then from there, they started inviting people over. So their dream for the farm is for it to become like a Silicon Valley for social enterprises. Because if you have community members moving to the countryside, and then if you have them do farming, pero there's no market, ganun din. So it will end up with the same problem that there will be no income. So they're inviting people to set up startup businesses that are agriculture related in the area to help provide livelihood for the community. So I was one of those that was inspired by Gawad Kalinga to set up a business there. So initially, I just started as a volunteer. So I would go there to try to help out in whatever way that I can. And then when I got there, I saw okay, the community here already knows how to make local tea. Because even before I volunteered for GK, there were volunteers before me who taught livelihood projects to the people there. And then I saw, okay, so they're using crops that can be found around them, like lemongrass or what we call tanglad in Filipino. Coincidentally, I was an avid iced tea drinker. I was a really heavy iced tea drinker. But at that time, 2012, all of the iced teas around us were mga high in sugar or super sweet. So when I saw that opportunity, okay, the community knows how to make iced tea, and then they're using real ingredients talaga that they get from their own farm. So this is our opportunity to come up with a healthier alternative of iced teas. And the insight there was that the Philippines is such an iced tea drinking country, but we don't grow the tea plant here. So virtually 100% of our iced teas are imported pa. So imagine lang if you can switch a small chunk of the market from purely imported to some using mga local ingredients like lemongrass, tanglad. Imagine how many farming communities you'll be able to help out. So yun yung naging transition ko from corporate, and how I got inspired to set up this startup social enterprise in the farm in Bulacan.
You know what, Ron? It's great that you initially like stumble upon volunteering for GK. Because if you did not do that, you will not be able to like uncover the need to do a natural alternative. Because I'm also an iced tea lover, and before nga, diba, it's like maybe like some tea drinks you ready to drink would have like, I don't know, 30% of it is like sugar. I'm not sure about the percentage, but it's just beyond healthy. So it's good that you guys have this kind of organic, nutritious drink that tastes really good. Kasi diba, not every kind of tea brand can pull off healthy na delicious yung lasa niya. So that's great. And by the way, I'm also wondering. So you guys, have been helping and training farmers. You sort of like, it sounds like you guys treat them like your business partners whenever you do this. How do you how like what makes your mission important? And what I mean by that is like, how can probably like, can you expound on your mission that maybe some other businesses could adapt or be inspired by your mission as well?
Okay, so if we're in the Philippines here. We're in the Philippines. We're in a country where we're facing so much issues. Now there are so many sectors that need help. So actually, it's a good time for people to venture into social entrepreneurship. And at the same time, we're also seeing a lot of support. If you set up your own social enterprise, you'd be surprised. Now, a lot of people would want to help you out. So in our case, the sector or the problem that we chose to tackle was poverty alleviation. Okay, if you look at the SDG or sustainable development goals, there are a lot of aspects you can touch on. So again, in our case, it's poverty alleviation specifically for the farming communities in the Philippines. Because number one, it's one of the sectors that are in dire need of help, and number two, it's one of the areas now we saw na, given the skill sets available to us and given the opportunities in the market, we can contribute in. Now in our model, kasi the way we help out the farmers is pretty straightforward. The more we're able to produce, and the more awareness on the mga local products we're able to make, the more farming communities will be able to help out. Right? So the helping part of the business is really integrated in our operations. Kasi the helping out part is part of our production process. So so that's how we're able to do it, and it's not limited to food and beverage. I think in the Philippines, that same model can also be reapplied in other areas, and also it's not just limited to the countryside or to agriculture. For example, in Metro Manila, there are also a lot of urban poverty that's happening. So that same business model can also be reapplied.
Mhm. Yeah, you know what? For the poverty alleviation mission that you have attached to your social enterprise, I'm wondering, for the past few months, obviously, poverty has been more prevalent because of the pandemic. Was there any sort of like initiatives or any plans that you guys are planning to do to amplify yung mission po ni Bayani Brew?
Mhm. Okay, one of the most basic things that we did was not to stop the support that we give to the farmers. So even though, especially at the onset, no, March, April, May, when it was the height of the quarantines in Metro Manila, even though practically logistics stopped, a lot of restaurants and cafes now closed down, the farming side of Bayani Brew still continued. So the farmers were still able to earn an income. But that was also made possible because of the sacrifices made by the rest of the organization, especially, for example, the management team took a pay cut in order for us to continue funding the side of the farmers. Now, we knew as well, because if you take care of the farming side, the moment the quarantines are lifted, the market opens up, we would need the crops again. We would need to harvest again in order to produce the drink. So that was one of the strategies that we did. Okay. And then one of the things then, especially for the survival of the business, we have to be able to pivot quickly. So Bayani Brew was one of those companies whose digital transformation was expedited by COVID. So previously we didn't have any online store. So because of this, after a few weeks of quarantine, we immediately had to set up our own e-commerce business and try to adapt to what the needs are of the market.
Yeah, congratulations. Kasi like real talk, Ron, like before, when I go to a certain store and wala dong Bayani Brew, medyo mahirap. Pero ngayon, like now that it's just a click, it's
Uh-huh.
thankfully, pandemic was really bad, but like thankfully, because of that, maraming businesses like yours, nag-adapt talaga, which is, again, congratulations, it's really good. I'm also wondering, for Bayani Brew, you're so 2020 this year, so have you celebrated your 8th year anniversary yet, or getting close to the 8th year anniversary?
Actually, you just reminded me. Our 8 year anniversary will be in the next 2 weeks. Yes,
Wow!
yeah, we're very close. But it's been really busy, really hectic the past days that we we kind of forgot about our anniversary.
Let's make that big, Ron. Like that's an 8th year anniversary in 2020, which is eight is a lucky number, and it's 2020, which was tough for everyone, but at the same time, there's always silver lining, diba? So yeah, advance congratulations. I look
Thank you.
forward to helping you with your mission for the 8th year anniversary. My last question to you is that because you said earlier when you were about to start Bayani Brew in 2012. You're like an iced tea lover, so that which
Mhm.
is it's a healthy drink. Do you have any wellness routines that I'm curious because I always ask that to my guests. What are their
Uh-huh.
wellness routines? Because this is something that I think is good to share to everyone.
Uh-huh. Okay. For me, my personal wellness routine is quite simple. I believe in food diversity. So I put diversity in what I eat. So I've been eating more like quinoa aside from the usual mga rice and ano lang, and I've been eating more plant-based na mga whole foods. So aside from so for example, me growing up, I used to eat a lot of mga Western na mga processed food or just red meat, white rice. So lately, I've been trying to include some diversity in what I eat. So I am more plant-based na mga whole foods, and also in terms of what we drink. Then, so that's why we're also coming up with all sorts of flavors that you don't normally see. Now we have okay, lemongrass ginger, lemongrass turmeric, which is not commonly found, but it's good. The market is also going supporting this diversity na movement. So that's something that I believe in, and which I applied it in my personal life.
That's awesome. Yeah, I really believe in the power of food. Like for me, food is medicine. And I wanted to thank you. I know that I've said this even before we recorded or maybe on one of our online conversations that, I'm really thankful about Bayani Brew because like it's an essential drink. Like, like instead of grabbing like high sugar drink, like might as well switch to something that's healthier, that's guilt free. So thank you guys. You guys are doing amazing work. I am looking forward to more years so that maybe, I don't know, you guys will come up with new flavors. Is there something like that coming out soon? Because I know you just released two new flavors, right? But like, do you
Yes.
think in the future, in the coming years, do you think there might be some new flavors?
Yes, definitely. So we're doing a lot of R&D right now. So our flagship is lemongrass. So that's how we started lemongrass pandan, and then we're adding lemongrass ginger, lemongrass turmeric, and in the coming months and years, definitely you'll be seeing more and more mga Filipino, mga inspired by cha recipes na will be coming out from Bayani Brew.
You know what? Yes, I'm excited for that because we have so many great plants in here in the Philippines that need to be,
Yes.
marketed instead of us buying some plants from other countries and making it into a certain product. Might as well just maximize what we have, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm super excited for that, Ron. And I appreciate you sharing your journey and your story. And what are your last tips, by the way, for those that might wanna start their business and might
Uh-huh.
feel hesitant about it, especially if we're talking about social enterprise.
Hmm. Okay. Um, something that we've experienced. It could start from your mission or your advocacy first. For example, if you see a community that is in need, you can take that route first and see what skill set do they have, what opportunities do they have in the environment around them. So, for example, in our case, because the communities were in the countryside, agriculture became a good facility for them to earn a better income. So look for those opportunities also. For example, those that are in urban settings, find a community that you can help out. It's very easy in the Philippines. So many people need help. Or it can be the other way around. It could be because of a certain skill set that you have, because of your specialization or expertise, maybe you can reapply that to something that instead of doing it for people who are already doing well, maybe you can do it for a community that needs some more help, some more guidance, or some more coaching. And because of what's happening now everyone is staying at home, the entire market is shifting to hyper local. I think the pandemic ironically has become like a great equalizer for businesses. Now, if everyone is going online, so the presence of someone, a small business, can be as impactful as the presence of a large company. So parang this is a good starting point, especially for people who want to set up their own businesses. Now they could do things now which they wouldn't have been able to do, or which have been very difficult to do pre-quarantines, pre-pandemic.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for those wise words, and all the best for Bayani Brew. I can't wait for the new drinks because I've tried all the flavors. So I'm sure if you're gonna add some more, I'm sure it's just gonna be as good as those current flavors that you have. Again, thank you so much for joining Wellnessible's interview, and yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you, Mickey. We'll make sure that once the new flavors are out, we'll also send some over your way. And I'd like to thank you as well for doing this podcast, for raising awareness and telling people, okay, it's possible. Wellness is possible even in the midst of a pandemic. Thank you so much for that.